you guys doing?
Very good. How are you?
Doing good. Been fired up.
Fired up.
Fired up.
It looks like we saw John Neal come out here. He was in a particularly happy mood. You seem like you're in a pretty good mood. How's I take it practice has been going well this week.
Practice is going well. The kids' attitude is great. The effort has been great, and we've got a game this week, so we're really fired up.
Last couple of years, Stanford's been running the ball on you. What adjustments are you making to stop that this season?
I think when teams are running the ball, first you got to play with better pad level. Second, you have to get off blocks. And third, you've got to get a lot of people to the ball. And so those are the three things that we're planning on doing. Obviously, you've got to pick and choose when you try to pressure and those things. But we've got to play with great pad level, better than we played with. We've got to do a tremendous job of getting off blocks, of not getting stuck on blocks and getting off blocks. And then we've got to run better than we've ever ran.
It seemed like they showed a different aspect of their offense last week. Is that you see that as an outlier, or is that something that you're preparing for as well?
The way we view Stanford is Stanford's still Stanford. They're a tremendous running team, and they've always had some very good skill players. And so we have to prepare for everything. They've opened up their arsenal, and we've got to be prepared for whatever comes out and however they try to attack us.
What does Hogan do well at quarterback?
I think Hogan does a tremendous job of leading. When things are not going well, he'll put the game on his back. He'll run. He'll keep drives alive, and he'll throw the ball and make big plays. So he's kind of the key to that offense, and we've got to do a good job of containing him. He's big, he's physical, and you have to tackle him.
Yeah, people talk about when Michigan State played here in September, talking about how they're kind of like Stanford. It's that same sort of smash mouth ideal. Do you see anything in Stanford that you saw from Michigan State?
I think their base offenses are kind of similar because they're both run-oriented teams. I think Stanford's version is a bit different than Michigan State's. It's more power, and then I think based on last week, I think Stanford's opening up a little more. But there's the similarities that they're both running offenses, but they're different.
So do you take things then from playing Michigan State and the experience of playing that team and sort of put them towards Stanford at all?
I think the Michigan State game will help us, a small degree, maybe 20%. But I think the rest of the game plan is going to come from, playing Stanford in past years and then what they're doing this year.
How tough is it to transition with their different style of offense from what you guys have seen in the rest of the Pac-12? Is it difficult now this week to transition a little bit and go up against a different style of offense?
When you play Stanford, it's a shorter work week because it's such a different offense. And so, you have to have some defenses that you can go to that you can get ready in 3 or 4 days as opposed to the defenses we've been running against some of the other teams. What you try to do is you have to have a package or two that you can apply to a spread offense and then apply it as well to a bigger 2 tight end, 2 running back offensive type.
Armstead, is he full go for this week?
I don't know what the training report says, but he's looked good in practice. He's looked good in practice. I think it's day to day. Is that what? Yeah.
Where does Ifo Ekprealamu rank in terms of other defensive backs you've seen go through this program, guys you played with personally, and even guys that you were part of, in the coaching staff?
I think Ifo is performing. His overall performance being the leadership quality and the play on the field it's been up there with the best guys we've had. I think he's doing a tremendous job, and I'm just excited to see him these next 4 games because he's extremely excited. everyone's excited about the run as we take off the next 4 games, and particularly the next game. But I think Ifo ranks up there with the best guys we've had. And we've had some really good secondary guys, but I think he's another one of those guys. Yes.
Coach Helfrich and Coach Frost said earlier that maybe you guys were pressing a little bit last year against Stanford, and Frost said that he had maybe circled the game. Did you have any feelings like that last year, and has it changed at all for this game this year?
Last year I don't recall that. I don't recall that in my meeting room. But if Coach Helfrich and Coach Frost said that, it could have been. I don't recall that.
What do you see as the difference between Arizona State, how they played Stanford, and Oregon State? Was it Stanford doing more, or was it just Arizona State had a better defense? What was the deal there?
I haven't studied those games. I've seen those games in cut-ups. I saw Arizona State with more guys around. Well, that's hard to say. You watched the Arizona State game, and there was more guys attacking. I think more guys at the line of scrimmage. The Oregon State game, Stanford was a different offense. There was a lot of spread sets, and they're airing the ball out. So they're totally different games.
Coach about Derek Malone, about his career here. So I don't know if people want to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's that. Derek's had a tremendous career. He's been a little banged up, but he's looked good as of late. And just for us and for Derek, looking forward to him finishing this with a bang. If we can get his best games moving forward, it'll really impact the defense.
Well, you have him in different situations. What's it, right? Instead of maybe Walker or not?
Well, we're rotating a fair amount of guys, and we're trying to get strengths on the field versus the offensive strengths. And Derek is good against the run, but Derek's strength is that he can run, and so he's excellent in the passing game. So we've tried to limit guys' reps, try to keep them a little fresher, and utilize what their strengths are. And that's why you've seen Derek more in the nickel and dime situations.
Don, Tyree had been moved over to free safety back up this week on the depth chart. How much of a difference is it for a guy moving from one safety position to another?
The fortunate thing in our defense is a lot of the calls require dual positions. So playing free or strong, you kind of do the same thing. So I don't think it's a giant transition.
Is that where you see him long term?
It's just right now it's the best thing for this upcoming game. With those guys, they have to be flexible. They have to be flexible. It's kind of like Dargan being able to play all 5 spots, Ifo being able to play all 4 spots. It just gives us more depth and more flexibility.
On the flip side, Juwan, he's a guy, early on this season, didn't hear a whole lot about, but they got some kudos from the kick coverage team last week, and he's kind of made the 2 deep. What can you say about Juwan and his development in the last 7-8 weeks?
Juwan brings tremendous energy. I think for Juwan, it's been a steeper learning curve. He was an offensive player primarily, and so it's taken him a little longer. But as he gets comfortable, I think we'll see his natural gifts start to shine. Sure. He's very talented athletically.
Don, do you see that the defense is in that sweet spot between strength and speed? Is this version of the defense as opposed to last season, the season before, the times that Oregon has lost to Stanford? Have you found that perfect combination?
In terms of game plan against Stanford, I think we have to be prepared to do both. At some point we're going to have to get in and tighten it up and stop the run, and at some point we're going to have to get out there and cover their bigger receivers. I think we have some packages that are going to give us a chance to be successful, but we have to get on the field and see. I think the biggest thing in the defensive game plan is being able to adjust, because now every offense is doing a lot of different things, and we have to have some sub packages and do a good job of getting them in versus the right personnel groups. That's the biggest challenge, making sure that we have the right substitution groups in versus versus the offensive formations.
Are you guys as a coaching staff better at anticipating that flow from Stanford's offense and maybe being a step ahead?
I think this year we've done a tremendous job with the communication from the box to the sideline of the flow of the game, and obviously this week we'll need to be on point, and we plan to be on point.
Last week, I think last year, Gaffney had 45 carries. That was a big story of the Stanford game, was how often they ran the ball. This year, I think they're like 90th in the country in rushing offense. It's a weird step back for them. Do you have any reasons why you might see that has been the case for Stanford this year?
When I look at Stanford, I look at Stanford, the program, over the last 6-7 years, and they've been a run-oriented team. So the run's not going away. It's there. I'm not sure why they've opened it up, but it could be because of their personnel. They may have good receivers and they have a quarterback that can throw it. I'm not sure of that. I just know that we have to be prepared for both.